This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
The Kingdom of East Anglia saw the birth of their greatest son, an Anglo-Saxon warrior destined to be a champion for the ages and a national treasure for all time.
It's finally here. The last 19 games of all time. So we're going to go through these pretty quick. I'm going to explain a little bit about each one, but I don't want this to be a 1-hour video. So without further ado, at number 19 is a game I absolutely adore. I've talked about. We played it out in the dining room when I was set out there, and now we just showed off some of the newer edition stuff, and I believe there's a third edition in the desert, and that's Hex Explore It. And number 18 is a chip theory game. It is Hoplomachus. Great solo play, gladiator game. I don't get it to the table enough. I think it's better with two people than it is solo, but it's very good solo. At number 17, I think this would be a lot higher, but I've got to get the third edition of Awakening the Bear. Once I have that, hopefully by the time you see this, I'll have it already. I believe it's coming out on Miniature Market, and I should have it soon. And that is Conflict of Heroes. Storms of Steel, Awakening the Bear. I really want to try both of them in the third edition, see how it turns out. Now, a lot of you, I hope you're sitting in your seat, because at number 16 is a game that dropped off quite a bit, and that is Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl, which has always been in my top 5 games of all time, has dropped down to 16. It's not because it's a bad game, it's not because it's not good anymore, it's because it's impossible for me to get a league going. It's impossible for me to get it to the table much. The game has deep meaning to me and will always be in the top 20, but I just feel as other things come out, there's different things that are taking its place where I can still have my gaming experience and not have to hunt down a whole bunch of people. And number 15 is a game that a company that I really had a hard time with, but they've been doing nothing but great things. And 3 of their games are in the top 100, which speaks volumes. At number 15, it's Dungy Saga. I really love this. I love it for its solo play. I loved playing it with the kids. It's a great, great game. At number 14 is a game that came out early this year. It's pretty much number 2 on all my lists that I did for the year end, as you've seen, and that's Madara. What a fantastic debut for them to make it to make it on all the lists and just have this power to stick through the whole year the way they did. That just shows you how great the game is. Act 2 should be fantastic. Madara at number 14. Number 13, a game that I absolutely loved from Gen Con, and that's Cloudspire. I think as I play this more, it'll go higher. I love it. I love the video game feel to it a bit, and you know, the real-time strategy bit to it. You know, a real life board game that's with that MOBA feel to it, and just really stands out. And number 12 is a game I made more mistakes with, just assuming it was another Car Wars. But I can tell you this much: after everything I bought for it, everything I built for it, I can tell you that Gaslands is just a fantastic, fun experience. The way you shift, the way you go about things, the way you have to try to figure things out, and then of course your opponent screws up everything that you ever did. For me, this is so much different from Car Wars and so much better as well. At number 11, I know you guys are going to fall out of your seats again. Warhammer Quest / Hero Quest at number 11. A game that just has so much meaning to me. But when they redid Warhammer Quest, I was really hoping they would reissue the old one. They didn't. They went with a new feel for it, and it didn't exactly work that great for me. So I don't compare them to the original. The original still holds up, but there are just so many things that have come out and dungeon crawls that are just either better or as good, and this fell, plain and simple. We are finally in our top 10. Get ready, folks. At number 10, classic robots battling out for supremacy of their world, BattleTECH. Plain and simple, one of the best games ever made. At number 9, a game that has leaped and bounds, and I will tell you, everything from this company, Greenbrier, I have enjoyed immensely, and I feel is underrated. But Folklore, with all its story, all its depth, all its feel, I can't wait for the new edition. Don't forget me out there, guys. Folklore, I've painted it, enjoyed it, loved it, and will continue to do so. At number 8, Chip Theory games, bringing it old school, moving up, and really breaking the top 10. Too Many Bones. Too Many Bones is such a fantastic game. I love it. I love everything about it. Chip Theory does such a wonderful job. The components are off the chart. They do great things with everything they do, and they deserve to be in the top 10 here. At number 7, an old favorite. I think this would be probably in the top 5 if it wasn't for the fact that I don't know why Games Workshop does not make an expansion for Space Hulk. I don't know why they don't do it. I don't know why they don't they have this wonderful, fantastic game and don't make a bunch of different campaigns for this game. This game has legs, life, and all the things needed to be considered in this top 10. At number 6, my good friends at Flying Pig Games. You guys are the best. I love everything you guys do, but Oldschool Tactical is a beautiful game. The oversized chits, the gameplay, which is just solid, the beautiful, stunning maps. You put this out and people want to play. That's all I have to say. Always kicking it. I can't wait to see what the Pacific Theater brings to this. These guys are just fantastic. Number 5, one of my a designer who I consider a very good friend, and he holds a special place in my heart. One of the first games I've ever played, and I loved and have brought me back into the hobby, was Arkham Horror, the original Arkham Horror. And Richard Launius is a genius. I love this. I have a brand new set that I don't think I'll ever open, just because of how much I love this game and it means to me. With all the expansions too. We saw that on my treasure finds this year. Number 4, I've talked and talked and talked about this game. It may be the most simplest print and play game that you can get your hands on, but I'm telling you, the personal experience, the D&D feel, the old school feel for an old timer like myself, and the adventure I can go on by myself. It's everything I wanted in a role-playing game that I can just control myself, and that's D100. Martin Knight, you are a beautiful son of a bitch. I told you that a billion times. Thank you for this. You have renewed my faith that, that gaming is for everybody, and people with imagination and heart can do incredible things. You are a proven fact of that. At number 3, there's just no way that this game is not on everybody's list and in their top 10. This is a masterpiece. It holds up to time and everything. I just bought the Ultimate Edition because even though I had the game, I didn't care. I wanted it all stuffed in one box, all pretty. And that is Mage Knight, the board game. Steep learning curve, but once you get sucked into that experience, it is probably one of my favorite solo games of all time. At number 2 is a game I promised to get out on this table at some point, and now that we're done with the patron and we're cleaning things up, there is no way that all the stuff I built for it, all the stuff I have for it, all the stuff I painted for it, doesn't get on the table and up on camera, though I've played this game numerous times by myself and with others, and that is Frostgrave. All the different expansions, the solo expansion just really shot this up the chart. This is a fantastic, wonderful, deep experience. You go get some bones and paint them up, and you are off and running with a fantastic, fantastic experience of Frostgrave. At number one, I mean, what do you say about this game? This game has been continually moving up and up and up, and at least once a month I'll break it out and try my best to do the best I can with it, and I'll get crushed or come so close, or different things will happen, and it's never been the same. And that is one game that I didn't discover until the last day of the prior Gen Con, not this last one, but the prior one, when Tina turned to me and said, "Hey, I heard great things about this game. Why don't we go find out about it?" And from that point on, I was hooked. And 2 years, a year and a half later, it is my number one game of all time, and that is Nemos War. A game that just keeps everything in front of you. Alan, Victory Point, thank you. I mean, what more can you say to somebody than thank you for giving me such an experience? And so, you know, I use that word a lot, but it means a lot. Because thank you for giving me something so deep and so touching that touches me deeply. An old fan of the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea movie when I was a kid, and Nemo and the big huge octopus, and then being able to paint this thing up and move it around the board and feel like I'm part of the Nautilus. And then with it, just a tremendous, tremendous tale of beauty and elegance and gameplay. No two games are ever the same, and I will tell you this, it is wonderful, and I hope they continue to support this game, because if you haven't played it, you need to. It is fantastic. There you have it, right before the new year, folks. The 109 greatest games of all time, according to this knucklehead, nobody else. These are mine. These are personal. This list is personal. And we're going to take this sheet and lock it away. And maybe we'll revisit it next year with a top 50 and see if anything changes. But I hope you enjoyed this series for the last 10 weeks. And thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, it's your old pal Rob wishing you a very happy and safe new year as we begin 2020, a new decade, a new beginning, and just more and more fun here at Rob's Tabletop World. We'll see you soon, everybody.